Hey, everybody. Hi. See if anybody can hear me. Everybody shows up. Let's see. Hi, Paranormal. How you doing? Excuse me. Excuse me. I can use my Kindle to go on to YouTube. Pretty cool. I didn't know. Good. Good. Yeah. This cat. Oh, what's up? What's up, kitty? What is wrong with this cat? Are you looking for snacks or something? I know. I'm like, okay, maybe I should give her some snacks or something. Maybe I'll give her a couple of snacks. If you guys will hold on and give me a minute here. Hold on. Hey guys. Let's hope they're kidding, right? Hi, Night Owl. Why would I beat my cat up? Just gave him some temptations. Yeah, I don't know them either. Kind of weird, right? I don't know. They're just somebody in here. Someone trying to be fucking fresh. Some fresh mouth. Fresh mouth. We don't know if that's Lulu or Lulu. Hmm. Whoops, I gotta edit that. I'm doing all right. I don't know who that person is with a cat. How you doing, Ambrosia? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Um, Jesus, I just had something to tell you guys. Dang it. Totally forgot what the hell I was going to tell you guys. Anyway, how's everybody going? Good. Good? Hopefully. Right? I hope UFO bro doesn't feel bad like he can't come here. Because, um, actually, I had, let's just do this. I had seen him being a little harassed in a room earlier, and I think that's shitty. So basically, every time that particular room and that particular person says, I got mad because they were modded there or because they were in a room, it's really the opposite. It's really that they get mad if people come to this room and give them a hard time. I mean, that's what I saw. So basically, even like with Jax, it was the same thing. That basically, if these people come over here, they get treated shitty when they go back over to that person V's channel. And that's absolutely what I just witnessed. And I think that's terrible, man. So those people over there are willing to dislike somebody. Now, but keep in mind, UFO bro, if you're here, that you were the person that was on the panel that night, on my panel, when we were talking about religion, and uh, Bobby had gotten like all, pissed off saying that she was a Catholic and sorry, I had to sneeze. Um, that she was a Catholic and you said you didn't believe in God and that offended her and she was fucking out of here, swearing at me, going off. I think Paranormal might have even been up on that particular live stream that night on the panel. And, uh, you know, so incredible that they'll find any reason to dislike um somebody just if they're in my live stream. That to me is incredible, that it's almost like a mirror image of what they accuse other people. Oh, but yeah, but she didn't mind him over there in Burns, though. It was only here, just like it's the same way with anybody else. It's they didn't like Tiffany M when she was they didn't like Bobbles when she was in here. They didn't like it was the same way um for anyone. If they're in here, they don't like them then, and then when they're not in here, they do. It's basically, oh, my dog did that. I didn't do that. He just got done eating. But let me just tell you something. I just had to like wash out his bowl because my cat, that's what I was going to tell you guys. Know what the cats had done? I believe it was Tucker. Because Tucker is, he's scheming. Um, right, same with you, Jax. They didn't, right. So basically, it's them that have the problem with somebody coming into this chat. It wasn't me that had the problem with people going to Werns. It wasn't me that had that problem. I had clearly said to her, I couldn't think of him for a nicer person for him to mod. I really hope UFO bro doesn't think that he shouldn't chat here because, you know, that would suck, you know. Oh yeah, so Tucker, what he did was he knocked the salt shaker off the table and into the dog's bowl. I didn't know it. I didn't hear it. Probably did it when I wasn't home. And I just didn't even notice it because I didn't go in the kitchen. Into the dog's bowl, upside down. And there was a big old pile of salt out on his dog food. When I mean, gee, Tucker, could you try to kill a dog anymore? How horrible. With Bobbles coming in here, she doesn't come in here. I don't think she wants to. All right. Good night, Ambrosia. Wow, you go to sleep early. It's early where you are. Isn't it like 9 something there? Oh, I don't know anything about that. I know nothing about that. Being Bob's alter ego. I don't know anything about that. I don't know if you're trying to be derogatory to her and shit, but we try, I mean, she hasn't really been doing anything to be derogatory for now, so this isn't the space for it to be derogatory towards her. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to partake in the conversation, you can. You're more than welcome. But, you know, for the most part, when we are derogatory, I don't think that's Bobbles. No, I remember somebody calling her that though. Now that I think about it, I never, I didn't watch He Haas. I don't really know, but I don't think that's Bobbles. I don't think so. Yeah, whenever like if we are derogatory in here, it's usually in a response. Yeah. Um, I do remember someone calling her that though. So, all right, I don't know about you guys. Like when I read on here, do you not like that? Like when I read you guys stuff? I see other channels that are like reading channels, and see, I like to read, and I like to read out loud and stuff too. I did that when I was younger. I would like act out the book I was reading, not act it out physically, just you know how sometimes I'll act out a live stream, somebody else's live stream, or even my own. I've done it too, um, where I'll put voices to it. Right, right. And usually, like, even when we are going off about somebody, like the stuff that Bobby Ramos and BP and all of them complain about that I said to them, it's like as if they forget that everything they've said about people didn't take place or something, you know? I mean, give it a rest. I know that fucking, you didn't kill your freaking daughter and your granddaughter. But the shit that is said about me and others is just as fucking ridiculous, but as hurtful. Just as untrue, but as hurtful. It's said to hurt people. And then when I'll explain that to them, at the end of like when maybe I have a rant or something. They go, now she's trying to be nice and sweep it up. No, I'm not. I'm logically trying to tell these people that I don't even mean the shit that I say to them. I know it's not true. I don't even think it's true. I don't even think a person with a logical mind thinks it's true. And it doesn't make me feel good to say it. So I don't understand what makes them feel good to say that stuff. You know? It doesn't make anybody feel good to say stuff intentionally to hurt somebody. It shouldn't. It should make you feel, you shouldn't, you know, when people say something not intentional that hurts somebody's feelings, if you're a decent person, you feel bad about it. And you just feel so bad about it. You're like, oh my God, how could I have even, unaware I've done that? So hurting people's feelings while aware is something that decent people don't even want to do, don't even want to partake in. And yet those people partake in it for hours upon hours every night. And everything that they accuse people of are what they're doing. And I heard some snippet of some voice. Hi, Catherine. Some snippet of some voice at the end of Vern's chat. I mean, I only just looked at the end when they were talking about, talking to UFO. And I appreciate your trying in there, UFO bro. Um, but I really think that's where Vern's mind is. What that other voice and was saying with the black screen is how Vern thinks. He's not, in my opinion, right in the head. You know, he has some delusions. And if people don't, his friends don't capture a lucid moment, he's not gonna have any more again. It's gonna be where he's on the roof and cutting the spectrum wires again and getting 5150 again. Without his meds, he's a danger to society, in my opinion. And he's not taking his meds. Neither is Bobby Ramos. Some people you can tell the difference when they stop taking them. And I've heard them both declare they are not taking them anymore. With Bobby, it was a change in meds, in my opinion. Not my opinion, because she said it. And then we noticed a huge difference in her, like just so mean. BP, I mean, she was even in the room. She knows that what she was afraid of happened. So now instead of speaking out against what happened, um, and the reason why I went in there and a man with balls hanging down. What does that mean? Whose balls hang up? Hmm. Oh, nobody answered me on the reading thing, by the way. I still might do it because I got this Kindle. And I started one book called Unfuck Yourself. Right about what, Jax? It was her? Is she in the room? How do I turn this back on? What's going on here? How do I turn my Kindle on? How do you know that, paranormal? Hi, Bimbo. How do I turn my Kindle on? Why can't I turn my Kindle on, you guys? Tell me now. Go look at what? I don't know what you mean, Jax. Go look at what? Yeah, because I tried to go look. I don't know what you're talking about. Go look at what? Can you explain to me in more than in one like word? Can you just tell me like what you mean? Like you were right and go look, but you don't tell me where I'm supposed to go look. Can you tell me what you mean? I don't know. I didn't even see the live stream on my Kindle. I don't know. Second time what? Okay, never mind. I don't know. Oh, why were you sick, Catherine? Yeah, I don't know. You're talking in code. Could you just tell me? Just tell me. Like, people won't open in here. This stuff won't open. Why isn't it letting me read it? I don't understand. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that was hard, yeah. Does it have any videos up? Really slow now. It was going fast before. Why is this downloading? I'm sorry about your sister, Catherine. Are they about me? I don't understand. Can just explain to me, because if I'm trying to get into my YouTube, I don't even know. So did anybody do anything good today? And like earlier, I was asking, like, what kind of I mean, first of all, if you don't like it when I do read to you guys, is it bad? That book was called Unfuck Yourself, but I also downloaded one called oh wow, that's a big one. Um True crime, like a list of true crime stuff. Okay, I don't know anything. Lulu, you bobbles. I don't know. Here, we'll just do this. How's that sound? I blocked them. Okay? You seem pretty certain that it's Bobbles, and I'm pretty certain that Bobbles wouldn't come in here saying we're friends and say, "Am I beating my cat?" That's just in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't know how we got on the topic of Bobbles. I really don't. Yeah, if Night Owl doesn't think it's her, then why do you think it's her? Alter ego. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. I can unblock her, but I just want to know why you're so certain that it's Bobbles. I mean, Bobbles could come in here as Bobbles and say she's Bobbles. Bimbo, was that Bobbles? Bimbo Barbarella. If that was really Bimbo Barbarella was in here. Is that really Bobbles? I mean, I'm very confused. Super confused. I just wanted to go live and I'm not SVG. I'm just SG. I don't, well, yeah, but that's not telling me how you know that it's her. That's that was a TV show. I'm still wondering like why you're so certain that it's her. That's all. I don't even know if she would come in here. Bobbles, if that is really you, then text me. I mean, you know what? That's what I can do. I can text her. know what alter egos are, and I don't have her number anymore, unfortunately, so I can't text her. But I keep knocking myself out of my own room, and um, I don't think she would come in here like that. And like, is Bobbles talking in the videos on that channel? Is it saying I'm Bobbles? Is she? I mean, like seriously, because usually she'll say it's Bobbles. So Jax, I know that an alter ego is an alias, but I also know this is YouTube and that there's trolls. Exactly. Exactly. No, just like Lola said, it's someone making fun of her. And they came in talking about me beating my cat. It's not her. She's not going to come in saying I'm beating my cat. That's how the person first came in, saying I'm beating my cat. I thought she would have been blocked already, to be honest. To be honest, when she said I'm beating my cat, right, exactly, Lola. I honestly thought that person would have at least gotten the response that no, I wasn't beating my cat. But they didn't. They didn't get that and they weren't blocked. Right. That's what I'm saying. She's gonna say that she's Bobbles. I've never seen Bobbles go in somewhere. But yeah, right. Paranormal. But if there's no videos that she's talking in, and there's no, he's not gonna make fun. He's not gonna make fun of his wife that way. I honestly was surprised that person wasn't blocked because I was really giving my cats treats and cleaning out my dog bowl because they were salt in it. Right. I mean, alter ego on YouTube when it's being insulting is not gonna be their alter ego. That'd be like me saying I'm Munchie. I mean, I'm just, you know, I got kicked out of the room twice because simply, Jax, I know you're smarter than that. Who is an alter ego? An altered ego. Altered ego is more like it. Altered ego is definitely more like it. All I want to know is if you guys think it's stupid if I finish the book on Fuck Yourself. I mean, and if you guys don't like it when I do that, just let me know, please. Where is my book on Fuck Yourself? You know, Luna ordered it. What does uncollected mean on Kindle? Can anybody tell me about Kindle? All I want to know is where's the books I was already reading? Thank you, coward. Thank you. Where are the books I was already reading? I'll just look for it. I'll just type it in. La 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 la. You want to be starting something. You got to be starting something. Said you want to be starting something. Mama say, Mama sama mankusa. Mama say, Mama sama mankusa. I. This chapter is called Plant Your Flag. When you start to view the world through the lens of what you're willing and unwilling to pursue, rather than what it seems you want and don't want, things start to become a lot clearer. Instead of wasting time worrying about the things other people have, you'll start focusing on what's really important to you and your life. You'll realize that once you replace envy, lust, and desire with a willingness to change your life for the better, things really start to take shape. That's really hard. Like, I don't even know who the him is she's talking about anymore. You mean Mr. Bobbles? You know, that's so hard though, isn't it? Because the willingness, like, okay, like say when you're growing up, and if you grow up in a family, like in those years where your mind is, developing on what you believe about everything matters. Okay. Those first years when there's like there is a toddler, okay? And you want them to believe in Santa Claus, right? You want them to believe in Santa Claus. It's something isn't true. And yet, as their parent, you want them to believe in Santa Claus. And then Christmas becomes like this, you know, and I'm not saying every parent is like that. That's nice. I like that. Okay, I unfuck you. um, and not every parent is like that and cares if the kid believes in Santa Claus or there's no gifts for them to believe in Santa Claus or anything. But for the kids that they believe in Santa Claus, for those parents that want, I'm talking about for parents in the younger years because it's a whole nother ball game when we grow up. What we believe is like unbelievable can be something we want to believe in. Like this book is telling us almost to believe in Santa Claus. That, if we change what we believe, instead of, believing, wow, that person, believing what's there on the surface. Wow, that person, they look like they get everything they want, right? It's almost like a battle between your mind and your eyes. You know how some people like you know, always seem to get. I guess we could liken it to a person who always seems to win on scratch tickets, but they also always spend the money on it. So they take the gamble and they take the risk. And the people that don't take the gamble or take the risk don't win. I get it that we want to hang on to that $1, but that $1 is gone quick. Maybe every once in a while, if you believe you're going to win, you'll win. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's probably not true. I'm not pretty sure, but I mean, I've had like a feeling and been like, oh, maybe you just have to have more to risk. That's the problem. If you can't risk it, therein lies the problem. It's when the world around you negates what you want to make yourself believe. When the world around you becomes unfixable, that's when Santa Claus won't exist. There'll be a time when people probably are going to be so, strapped that even a time like Christmas will become obsolete. How come I can't turn this back on? Does it turn on? Okay, there we go. I close it and open it. That's what I did. I got it. So we can't let that happen. When we can't make things that are simple, like having a roof over our head. They're not simple. Not simple, no. But basically a necessity. But like when people, it became a time when everything was free. Oh, there was an abundance of fish in the sea and land to plant in, and like a bartering system, and people made it work. And then you got these people though who came along lacking a conscience, and they were the killers. They were the bad guys. They were the ones who didn't care that you had worked hard for something. They had no remorse in offing someone and taking it. And that happens when kind people allow themselves to not be heard because they don't want to disrupt things. But in the meantime, less and less and less repercussions are being faced by people who will push the envelope and push the envelope and push the envelope. And then the people that we depend on to keep the peace and keep law in order so we can have a peaceful society as well as it can be, they give up too. When everybody turns their head, it goes awry. We have got to look back on history and remember, kind people got killed. Martin Luther King, John Lennon, And a long list, I'm sure. Way back when in the Roman days, I believe what they would do, they'd actually kill people who had a good bank account when, the banks were running low, quote unquote, the banks were running low. They'd kill off rich people. I believe that's why they would do those things during the Salem witch trials. You can read as many self-help books as you want, but you can't only think about yourself because we need everyone. We need everyone. This is no small task. Changing the future is no small task. And I don't claim that I can do it. But I do think a big we can do it if we refuse and be unwilling to accept certain things. When you ignore something, just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean it isn't happening. Like child trafficking, a homeless crisis, an increase in the price of food, so many things happen when we're not looking. Hi, good day, Shine. Oh, sunshine. Good day, sunshine. Hi. So much happens when we aren't looking. But no man is an island. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in, talking. I can't do this alone. But I can't. And I probably will give up if I think I'm alone. That's why I need people like Good Day Sunshine to say hi. Just like that. There's 22 people in the room. That means 44 ears are listening, and I appreciate every single one of you. And if you're a hater, I hope I turn you into a hater of the right things. It's okay to hate things. It's okay to be angry and impassioned about not allowing people like us, because I think we're good. I think we're great. And I think there's more of us to be silenced. We can say, we're being silenced, but here we are. We're talking. We're here. And you have to carry forth what we are saying here, which is, listen, even if you're afraid, it's when you become silent that you die. When we all turn our heads, doesn't guarantee that's not your future. By turning your head from an angry mob destroying a neighborhood doesn't mean that's not the future of your neighborhood. Okay? You might have $2 million, but when they destroy all of the people they feel are financially unworthy, they're not draped in green. We don't want them, but we need their money. It's just going to continue. I urge you to look back through history. Man has always been cruel. And it wouldn't surprise me if the people who attended those events in the Coliseum, did they have to pay for those tickets? Does anybody know? I mean, I could look it up. Coward, I know you're pretty interested in history. Is that something you might do for me? Did people have to purchase tickets to go to those events where people were being thrown to the lions? Just think about that. People were sitting there, rich people. And they did, Catherine, and they probably could barely afford it. So think about that. They knew that the ones who weren't paying to go see it were probably going to be the ones that were the main event the following week. Because, was it? I mean, was it really free? I mean, I think it was really like, I mean, look at the Gulag. The Gulag. Okay, tell me that. Let's go to the Gulag. How did they determine who they were throwing into the Gulag? Humans, I think it's sometimes, like, okay, remember Joan of Arc, and she said God talked to her and told her, okay, we're gonna defeat guys. So we're gonna defeat. And they would. Good day, sunshine. Do you have the ability to look things up too? We are a research channel. I love to learn. I love to learn more about me and everyone else, you know? Um, I'll see if I can look it up. Can I look it up? Oh, good thing that you guys are here because I didn't know how to spell Coliseum. Coliseum. Let's see. I don't really know how fast this moves. This is the first time I've been using this Kindle for anything other than reading. Oh, you're a Google info addict. Okay, well, Joan of Arc wanted to be a nun. I know. But they were covered in blood and then they'd go and they'd confess. Because I think there is a time when strong people that believe in a higher power and that their actions determine whether or not they you know end up in a utopia, heaven, or something like that, a better place. When they believe that, there has to be a balance of knowing when the rich Romans didn't, but the poor ones did. So it was almost, like I said, where they would, if you weren't paying for that Colosseum, you could possibly be the next person that they were feeding to the lions. Maybe. Um, but when they talk about angels, I think that angels aren't like they're, with this halo on their head and oh, you're too, don't lower yourself to that level. Well, here's the thing. If a little person, if a little person, you say you're a normal stature, okay? You're normal stature. And this little person was there biting you, sticking you with a spear in your shins and shit, right? Would you not kick them? Would you not? You might even think twice about if you kicked them and they were laying on the ground to go over and stomp them to death. Because what usually happens? You let somebody live, and what happens? This is all metaphorically speaking, by the way, okay? What happens? They come back, right? Look at the guy who let, the soldier in World War I that let Hitler live and the guilt he felt that history might have been different. But I can tell you that human nature is always the same. There's always going to be people. Now, I like to think that, right, stomp them, right? That little fucker just fucking, you could get an infection now. It could fester, just like people's words can fester in your head. You have to remember why you're doing things. When people say, what's your end game? And their answer is to defeat you. Your answer has to be, well, I never attacked you, but I can't let that happen. You have to overcome the guilt of being a warrior for good. Warriors don't turn the other cheek. They slap someone in the face and say, smarten the fuck up before I stomp you. That's the chance they're given. No guilt. You remember why. If clearly in your mind and in your ears, you know, you know, you know, even if nobody will believe you that this person attacked you first, and even if everybody's going to say, you're so fucking rotten, I can't believe you lowered themselves to your level. You got to say, did you see what that little piece of shit did to me? You bet your ass I kicked the fuck out of them and stomped them. Look at my leg. You think I was going to let them take me down from my ankle? That's how they took Achilles down. It's okay, good day. Achilles tendon, right? Always. Because we're not stupid. And we see it all around us. Coming out of people's mouths like daggers. And it's that piece of guilt within us saying, oh shit, are good people gonna say I lowered myself? Hell no, you didn't. You just kicked the shit out of a fucking little piece of fresh motherfucking sassy shit that you knew you were taller than and bigger than. What are you gonna look like if you let a little person beat you? Really? These are little people. And you have to remember that angels don't have, that's what evil people want you to think. Angels play the harp and are not clad in armor, but they are. Not armor that nobody can, they let through who they want because it's a God-given right to feel. Emotions are right. They're visceral, they're inside you, and it's called passion. It's called spirit. It's called fire. Short people. They got tiny little horns that go beep, beep, beep. Oompa, oompa, oompity doo. I got another riddle for you. And that is how they sound. They run out of evil things to say. They become like, their words even become like rubber bullets. But we know that their endurance, because all they're on is repeat. That's all they're on is repeat. It's like cut and paste for them. They do not outnumber our vocabulary, our strength. All they are the nastiest of things that reproduce like roaches. What's CSB? Oh, and I live on. Oh, Coward Strikes Back. Okay. I thought that was like disability or something. All I know is I know that my eyes don't deceive me and that my heart doesn't deceive me. And that the only reason, hi Tiffany H, the only way I can survive in a world that, and that the world might survive is with you guys. And many, many more are yet to come. Many, many more of those people like Good Day Sunshine that, says I am been listening. I've been a silent listening. First time caller. Long time watcher, first time caller. Love them. 26 people in the room, 52 years. Yeah, I know that. I know. It is a song, yeah. It is a song. Got tiny little people and they got tiny little cars that go beep, beep, beep. You know? I mean, we are the fact that we maintain standing for what's right and wrong after everything that we have all been through, they're like invisible scars, though. I mean, we have to picture ourselves 20 feet tall and bulletproof. If you want to start with 10 foot tall and bulletproof, doesn't matter what height you are, though, Night Owl. But here's the thing. If you're short, then you get on a fucking springboard and I will jump on it, and then you do an in the air somersault, and then you stick the giant in the eye with the spear. Now, see, what I wouldn't want is some short person who doesn't know how tall they are and would say to me, I can't do that. I'm too short for that. Which a lot of kind people would say, I can't do that. I don't want to lower myself to that level. But sometimes you have to, because that's where the lowlifes begin. But when they start climbing upon each other, that's how ants form a bridge and then kill some bug that's way bigger than them. You see what I'm saying? You look at something and you go, I'm not even going to bother with it. But you better. Because that small sign might become a huge billboard. It's when you ignore things, thinking that doesn't affect me, that there's something wrong. If you don't read the news today and see people who live in neighborhoods that we don't even live in being taken over by gangs, and they're not safe to live there anymore, and say, oh, I'm glad I don't live there. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. That you have to realize it could be your neighborhood. Once they take over one place and nobody does anything, they take over another because the thrill is gone. The thrill is taking it over. The thrill is not the same kind of thing we have. It's just evil trying to defeat good people and a good world in the most subtle of ways. The very subtle of ways. When people say, oh, I am not going to comment on that, but I am going to tell you, gee, SG, I can't believe you lowered yourself to that. Don't lower yourself. You have to understand that being me, it's very hard for me to accuse someone of having sex with their deceased loved one or killing their loved ones. That's not me. Do you think I wanted to lower myself to that? Oh, hell no. But I want to know that you'll crawl through swamps with me and not make me feel bad about defending myself, because I defend you guys just as much. We have to remember throughout history, humble people have been attacked, and history gets written by the victors. And they make those people out to be, they want to be the victim. They want to pull the cancer card. They want to cry rape. Those are rape myths. No. Mm-mm. No. Make yourself aware to the ugly things in life and trust yourself and your voice that you could make a difference. And even if you don't be willing to not try. You can't be willing. You have to be willing to believe, well, if I could save just one, that has to be enough for us. Because when that becomes enough for us, it becomes easier. Well, yeah, but if you only stand up for yourself, well, I'm not saying that you don't. You stand up for me too. I know you do, Catherine. No, Catherine, you've never. See, in here, we do have people who are, these are the finest of the warriors. I don't care what people say about, oh, gee, she encourages the people in her room. She wants to inspire them. I can't imagine how they feel when they walk out of there. Well, gee, 20 feet tall and bulletproof, clad in golden armor. Hmm. I don't feel that way when I come in here. Only when I see you guys here. 25 people, 50 years. I'd rather have 25 people and think of them as 50 years than 106 people wanting to make a handful of people feel like shit. How weak is a leader of that army? That, and I don't want to say leader. I don't even want to, I don't think like you're not your leader. But I do a lot of the talking here because it's my channel. So I'm not even going to say that. I don't even know how to put it. Like, like Winston Churchill or whatever, but because I mean, I feel passionate. This isn't just YouTube to me. I read the news. I read everything. I know that social media affects people in real life. Okay. When these people say, oh, looks like you're gonna get a CPS well check, I've had them knock on my door and do that shit. These are real people who dial real numbers and harass people in real ways. Well, good for you, because you're a bitch with a cause. Coward strikes back. I like that. You know, you know. I mean, how weak is an army that wants to take on 5 people compared to an army that wants to take on the world? Hmm? See, they think locally and start locally. You know, we think globally and start locally. That's why everything they say is the same thing over and over and over. You know, my last video, when, I made that video after my camera flipped, I knew we're never the underdog. People, they want us to think we're the underdog. Mm-mm. Oh, hell no. What was that? Oh, Underdog was the actual name of Have No Fear. Underdog is here, right? Nice. Hmm. Funny. An overlord or an underdog. But dog backwards is God. Over God. Sweet Polly purebred. Yeah. Well, was that Sweet Polly purebred who did Fooey? Who did Fooey line two? That was Hong Kong Fooey. Fooey line two. Fooey. Hey, do you guys want to hear about murder? Murder. I like murder. I don't like murder. That's not getting me wrong. But I did download some true crime books. Only if you guys want to hear a few stories. You know what? No, you don't like murder. I like it. Ooh, and I got big volumes here. These are explore and tell the stories of various killers in the world, from unknown murderers to infamous serial killers. Our books are designed to be short and inclusive. We want to tell a true story that anyone can read, regardless of their reading level. Well, mine's pretty high. Marjorie Orban. First one we're going to start with. What this seems to be is a revelation of your very darkest side, ma'am, said George Arthur Anderson as he stared. These are true stories, by the way. As he stared at Marjorie Orban during her sentencing hearing. When that dark side is unleashed, it's about as dark as it gets, he continued. And that's true for anybody. You've seen the things these people say. The judge spoke these words from his bench on September 8, 2004, in a courtroom in Phoenix, Arizona. It was the start of fall in Arizona, a welcome reprieve from the blistering heat of the summer. I like your high horse. It was not only the torrid heat that ended, however, but a dark chapter of this community's crime. It looks like annals, but it's spelled Annals. Annals? I wouldn't use that word because I'd want to say annals. The residents of Phoenix enjoyed a patchwork of preserved desert areas throughout the city. However, on October 23rd, 2004, the rugged beauty of the area was eclipsed by a morbid find at the corner of Tatum and Dynamite Road in North Phoenix. Dynamite Road. I wanted to marry Fred. Scooby-Doo. The Phoenix 911 call center received a panicked call from an individual who was hiking in the area. Police quickly arrived at the desert location, and the hiker led them to a spot that was not far off from the residential streets that surrounded the reservation. When the officers reached the site, they instantaneously knew that this was not a routine call. Detective Dave Barnes of the Missing Persons Unit arrived on the scene minutes later. A putrid smell filled the air as Barnes walked toward a 50-gallon Rubbermaid bin. This is a true story, by the way, guys. Too bad Mighty Mouse wasn't there. Maybe he might have saved the person. As we walked up, you could smell the death in the air. Once you smell it, you know what it is for the rest of your life. It's the first time I'd ever seen anything like that, where it's just a piece of body, he would later say. Barnes removed the lid and carefully opened the black trash bag contained within. Trigger warning, you guys. Inside, and he did have a nice chest. Catherine. Inside the trash bag was a bloody, dismembered torso of an adult male. Maybe it was my Barnes would later tell a reporter, all of the insides, all of the internal organs, intestines were missing. I thought, who could do this to a human being? Cut off his arms, his legs, his head? The grisly find was located less than 2 miles from the home of Marjorie Orban, who lived in the 17,000 block. Now, see, if I had a guest host, I would have them be looking up and Google Earthing while sharing the screen the 17,000 block of North 55th Street and also a picture of Marjorie Orban so that you guys could all see who she was. I don't see her myself either. And I wonder if it's still standing, 17,000 block of North 55th Street in Phoenix, Arizona, in case anybody wants to Google Earth it. Butcher had a strong suspicion that he had just found the torso of her missing husband. Marjorie had filed a missing persons report on September 22nd, 2004. Jay Orban was the successful owner of Jayhawk International, a dealership that specialized in Native American art. He frequently traveled for business purposes, and it was not unusual for him to be gone 3 weeks out of the month. It was through his business travels that Jay met Marjorie. Marjorie had been married 7 times. Ooh, sounds like Bobby Ramos. Before meeting Jay at the age of 35. Just kidding. She's only been married 4. Marjorie, and I don't know if she's ever been a stripper. Marjorie was unable to conceive children. Well, we know that's not true. So it's not Bobby Ramos. I was kidding. This is Arizona, guys. And wait, why are you dancing? Oh, because you're singing, Here I Come to Save the Day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. Oh, it was Mighty Mouse, not Underdog. Uh-huh. That's fucked up. I thought it was an Underdog. You know who used to sing that all the time? Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman won. I never liked Andy Kaufman, even though we were related. We weren't related. Oh, his arms were definitely hot. They remind me of who was the guy who was in LL Cool J? He's a good looking guy. LL Cool J. How's he looking lately? Marjorie was unable to conceive children and had lived a life with herself as the central focus. She entered each relationship looking for her Prince Charming, but it never happened. Michael J. Peter was a very successful businessman who had made millions creating upscale strip clubs around the world. Marjorie left Peter because she believed he was cheating on her. She was probably a stripper already. Okay. How is it that whores always get the guy? What the fuck, man? Bitches and whores always get the good guys. Ain't that fucked up? And that's why they go, nice guys finish last. Yeah, because you always go for bitches and whores. She moved to Las Vegas, where she danced at a strip club. It was at this strip club in 1993 that she met Jay, who was traveling through Las Vegas. They had been dating for a while when Jay proposed to Marjorie. Now, it sounds like they're really cutting out a lot of facts here, but I'm just saying, I mean, for a while, he was traveling through Vegas. I mean, what is he, a homeless dude? A fucking hitchhiker? I mean, come on now. Um, Offering to pay for fertility treatments if she married him. Ah, she was playing the I'm infertile card. Mighty Mouse went missing in action today. He's not anywhere to be found. Yes, he is. They just found him in a Rubbermaid bin in Arizona. Marjorie accepted Jay's proposal and they got married at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas. And I do believe they did away with the Elvis Presley chapels in Las Vegas, from what I heard. Soon afterward, they moved to Phoenix, where Jay lived. Marjorie was able to conceive. That's weird. And gave birth to their son Noah. The couple divorced in 1997, but continued to live together. Marjorie had problems with the IRS and did not want Jay's assets to be vulnerable. That's weird, isn't it? September 8, 2004, Jay was driving back to Phoenix from a business meeting when he got a call from his mother wishing him a happy birthday. That call was the last time anyone spoke to Jay. When Jay's parents, brothers, and friends called his home, Marjorie told them that he had gone on a business trip and would not be returning until September 20th. During that time, those who cared about Jay could not reach him on his cell phone. His parents and friends expressed their concern to Marjorie. However, she said she did not know what was going on with him. We're talking about I already forgot his fucking name. LL Cool J. This is a true story, by the way, guys. People who spoke to Marjorie about Jay stated that she expressed little concern for his welfare. Jay's intended return date passed, and still nobody could reach him. When they inquired with Marjorie, she continued to remain aloof to their concerns. After continued pressure from friends and family, a missing persons report was filed on September 22nd. It's a fucking long time to be missing and your family not. So it was on September 8th to September 22nd. Suspicion is raised. The police department assigned Detective Jan Butcher to the case. She interviewed Marjorie, who indicated that the last time she'd seen Jay was on August 28th. Really? Wow. So he already had been gone for almost 2 weeks when he had attended his son's birthday. Butcher became suspicious of Marjorie on September 28th after leaving voicemail messages for her before she called back. I asked her to provide me the license plate of the vehicle Jay was driving. She said she would call me back. She never did. So that was a little bit odd, she later told the reporter. From that point on, Butcher's suspicions only continued to grow. Credit card and phone tower records indicated that Jay. Now, here's the thing, they could have done that already. I mean, he had kids. He had kids, right? Oh, no, no. His son's birthday, his kid was only 4, so yeah, no, his kid is not gonna be fucking at 20 years old reporting fucking his father missing. Okay, but he had a family. I mean, he ran a business, right? Um, from that point on, Butcher's suspicions only continued to grow. Credit card and phone tower records indicated that Jay had arrived at his home in Phoenix on September 28th, which didn't match Marjorie's claim that she had last seen him on August 28th. Right? But the mother said he was driving back to Phoenix on September 8th from a business meeting. All right. So, I mean, yeah, they're definitely missing a lot of facts here. Um, it says when detectives checked Jay's credit card records, they found that Marjorie was spending thousands of dollars, including purchasing a $12,000 baby grand piano. Now, if that's not the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. If she killed her husband, okay, why would somebody do that? It said while the business account had a withdrawal of $45,000. Within one day of reporting Jay missing, she had liquidated a total of $100,000 from Jay's personal and business accounts. Well, okay. I mean, within one day of reporting him missing, but she hadn't reported him missing before and liquidated it. She probably did that because she probably knew she was gonna fucking need an attorney, even if she did it or didn't. Whether she did it or not, she knew them motherfuckers were gonna seize all from him. And I mean, I'm just saying, for a woman they'd have to have help to, you know, dismember somebody. Don't you think? Let's see. A final cause for suspicion arose during a call that Detective Butcher made to Marjorie requesting that she take a polygraph test. For those not too smart, polygraph is lie detector. You're still smart. Butcher heard Marjorie remark to someone in the background, "You know what? She wants me to take a polygraph test tomorrow." A male voice replied, "You tell her to go fuck herself." That's hearsay coming from a detective who knows what they're doing. Butcher obtained a search warrant and went to Marjorie's home. Yeah, on what grounds? On what grounds? Just because she took money that was really hers anyway? I mean, seriously? I don't know. She divorced him so he wouldn't be held responsible for her IRS stuff, right? So, as for like a life or anything like that, as a wife, she's not his wife anymore. It says she divorced him so he wouldn't be responsible for her tax debit or whatever. I don't know. Um, a final cause for suspicion arose during a call. Oh, yeah, all right, I said that. Butcher obtained a search warrant and went to Marjorie's home, accompanied by a SWAT team. The SWAT team forced their way in and encountered an adult male, Larry Weisberg. Oh yeah, always blame it on the Jews. Just kidding, guys. Larry was Marjorie's new boyfriend, and the voice, well, new boyfriend is pretty, that's fucked up, man. Wow, that's fucked up. Hold on. I mean, how long was this call that the final suspicion arose? Um, she's already got a new boyfriend. I mean, she must be pretty if she was a. I wonder what Marjorie looked like. Can anybody look her up for me? Her name is Marjorie. Can you guys look? Marjorie Orbin. Orbin. Anybody want to look? Now mind you, she'd been married 7 times before. I'm Marjorie Orbin, I am. Marjorie Orbin, I am. I'm getting married to the widower next door. Oh no, the widow next door. The widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. It wasn't that he had 8 wives. It was that the widow next door had 8 wives. He's Henry VIII because he's her 8th husband. It's not about Henry VIII, the king, the song. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? Jay was a J, the 8th. I'm J the 8th, I am. J the 8th, I am. I'm getting married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. If everyone was a J Orbin, you wouldn't have a Willie or a head. No head. I'm an 8th old man. I'm J. J Orbin, I am. J Orbin the 8th, I am. J Orbin the 8th, I am. What a shame. That's a shame. Poor Jay. Poor Jay. Shut up, Jay. Well, he is shut up. He's dead. So, Larry was Marjorie's new boyfriend and the voice that had been heard in the background of the phone call. Weisberg was combative, resulting, he's looking to be Larry the Knight. Weisberg was combative, resulting in police tasing him. It's electrifying. Police searched the premises and found a large number of credit cards belonging to Jay. Well, it is his house. Plus his business checkbook. Well, it is his house. Items that he always kept with him when traveling. Could be true. But they did say he returned home September 28th, so that doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't return home. She probably got the dates wrong. She probably meant September 28th was the last time she saw him. Though police did not make any arrests after they tased the guy. Are you kidding me? They fucking tased the guy. Their surveillance of Marjorie deepened. It was shortly after Marjorie's home was searched that police found Jay's torso in the Rubbermaid bin in the desert. DNA evidence confirmed the torso belonged to Jay Orbin. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office inspected the torso and concluded Jay had been shot and his body frozen. At some point, the body had been defrosted and a jigsaw was used to dismember and decapitate it. All right. So that would mean that she would have had to have one of those chest freezers, right? A chest freezer. You didn't know what? You didn't know what that song wasn't about. Me neither. I made it up. Um, I mean, but I really don't think it is about anything. Now that I'm doing the math, now that I'm doing the but he did marry a widow. Maybe she was married 7 times before. I don't know about it. Um, so they had a search warrant with a SWAT team where they tased somebody, made no arrests, and never checked the freezer. Okay. Did they search after tasing Larry Weisberg's residential? Maybe they should have. Residenzo, that's Spanish for residence, in case anybody doesn't know. Or I could say casa. Casa. Oh, he's dead. Gotcha. Jay fell to pieces. Sorry guys. I'm a cold-hearted reader, survivor girl. So anyway, a jigsaw. A jigsaw? Really? A jigsaw? Isn't that to make jigsaw puzzles? A jigsaw. Is that not to make jigsaw puzzles? It had been defrosted and a jigsaw was used to dismember and decapitate it. That sounds messy. I think with a SWAT team, they'd have found some kind of evidence. When searching Jay's business, police found a packet of jigsaw blades with some of the blades missing. The medical examiner's office determined the blades matching the cut marks on the torso where the limbs and vertebrae were severed. I don't believe them. Detectives traced the UPC code on the Rubbermaid bin back to a Lowe's home improvement store in Scottsdale. Sorry. The detectives scored big when they viewed. What a dummy. The detectives scored big when they viewed video from the store surveillance camera and saw Marjorie purchasing the Rubbermaid bin, trash bags, and black tape. Police detained Marjorie when they caught her forging Jay's signature when making a purchase at a Circuit City store. Making a purchase at a Circuit City. So basically, they saw her purchasing that. Okay. At a Circuit City store. Oh, that's why they arrested him. Jay's remaining body parts were never found, nor the gun that was used to shoot Jay. Marjorie and her boyfriend, Larry Weisberg, were arrested on December 6, 2004. Weisberg was offered immunity if he agreed to testify against Marjorie. Bullying tactics. That's using their authority to bully somebody. Did they even prove it? I need to know. Who was sentenced to life in prison on October 1st, 2009. The woman always pays. How do we not know that he didn't already kill that guy and put her in fear? Maybe she took the money out and she had to pay that guy. I mean, come on now. Let's be for real. Always the woman. They blame the woman all the time. Christy Sheets. This one is located just northeast of Houston. The city of Katy has a population of 16,158, according to the 2015 statistics. On June 24th, 2016, a 911 dispatcher received a chilling call. At first, the dispatcher did not hear a single voice talking to her, as was the norm for most calls. Rather, isn't that weird? That's the norm for most 911 calls, that somebody won't say anything and don't hang up. Like don't hang up, keep listening. Rather, she could hear several voices in the background. Then she heard the sound of a female crying and the words, "Please forgive me, please don't shoot." This was followed by a male voice that begged, "Please don't point that gun at her." A gunshot sounded, and the female voice yelled to the dispatcher, "I'm shot." The dispatcher answered, "Hello? What's the address?" There was no response. The phone went dead. Do you guys like it when I reach you? Do you want to hear more? Should I keep going? Come on now. 22 people in the room. That's 44 ears. Should I keep going? Can I get three thumbs up? 3 thumbs up in the room. Emojis. Come on. I got 2 shores, which is just as good. You gotta wait for one more. All right, I'll read one more paragraph while I'm waiting for the third. That phone call originated from the home of Jason and Christy. Oh, another Jason. And Christy, it's not lucky night for Jason. And Christy Sheets. Christy, age 42, born in Decatur, Alabama. Thank you. As was Jason. They were childhood sweethearts who eventually moved to Katy, Texas, raising their 2 daughters, 17-year-old Madison and 22-year-old Taylor. Jason worked for Oxy, a Houston-based oil company, as an IT consultant. Thank you, Lola. Thank you. In recent years, the Sheets had experienced marital problems, and Jason was planning on divorcing Christy. On the day of that fatal phone call, it was Jason's 45th birthday, and Christy had called a family meeting around 5 p.m. Jason and their daughters expected the meeting to be about the looming divorce. The family gathered around the dining table. Within seconds, the unimaginable occurred. Christy pulled out a .38 caliber revolver that she had been hiding under the table. I heard about this story. This story bothers me that the mother could do this. She pointed it at Taylor and shot her in the back as she tried to run away from the table. Christy then turned to Madison and shot her in the neck. Jason ran and took refuge behind the living room couch before fleeing with his daughters out the front door. Yeah, after one had been shot in the neck and one in the back. I mean, my God. Why did the kids have to be there? I guess, they're adults, so I could see that a family meeting talking about divorce could be, but the daughters only made it to the street before both of them collapsed. Christy started running towards Taylor, who was lying on the street, while a neighbor offered Jason shelter in her home. See, I wouldn't be able to fucking be running to fucking give shelter in the home. The police arrived in time to witness this chaos, used trees and parked cars as shields. They saw Christy kneeling over Taylor's body, ready to shoot her a second time. Police ordered her to drop the gun. When she refused, they shot her. A medical helicopter took Taylor to a local hospital where she died on arrival. Madison and Christy's lifeless bodies lay on the street in front of their home. The gun that Christy used was a gift from her grandfather, to whom she was extremely close. Fucking bitch. Christy was deeply impacted, in my opinion, deeply impacted when her grandfather died in 2012. Compounding her grief was the fact that her grandmother died 2 months later. Jason would later tell detectives that his wife suffered from depression during this time, which is normal, and became a heavy drinker. She had been admitted to a private mental health hospital for suicide attempts 3 times over a 4-year period. Jason stated that Christy took a variety of prescription medications and was seeing a therapist. So first of all, he's divorcing her. He's divorcing her over, let's look at this date here. Let's see, 2016. And the grandfather died in 2012, and the grandmother died within 2 months of each other. Over a 4-year period, 3 suicide attempts. I don't know. I mean, you've maintained a marriage where you've got a 17-year-old and a 22-year-old, okay? And now he wants to divorce her after she's doing suicide attempts. I bet you he was cheating on her. In my opinion, I bet you he was cheating on her. You know what else I think, though? I think that she went to a therapist that prescribed, mood stabilizers for something that is a normal emotion, though. Sadness, because it doesn't make sense here. Let me keep going. A neighbor informed the police the couple had separated, but then recently reconciled. Before the shooting, Christy had no history of violence towards others. Christy had stopped working after the death of her grandfather. Now, I wonder if he left her money. Did she stop working because she could? Previously, she had worked as a hairstylist, as an executive assistant to the vice president of a transportation company, and as a receptionist at Clean Canvas Tattoo Removal. This was a part-time position that she had held from January 2015 to May 2015 when she was fired. The owner, John Hollis, had originally thought that Christy was perfect fit for the job. In an interview with People, he stated, "She was very pleasant when she wanted to be. That was in front of customers," he went on. "The times when she wasn't pleasant were the times when I assumed that whatever was going on at home was getting to her." See, that's important. Hollis had also indicated that Christy had spent some time living in an apartment away from the rest of the family. She would flip-flop in her explanations about this to Hollis. sometimes saying that she was separated from her husband, and other times stating that she was going to divorce him. It was erratic, it was highs and lows, Hollis continued. I wouldn't say it was deterioration, I would say it was peaks and valleys. The interviews conducted by the media with those who knew her, and through the sheet's active use of social media, provide a different perspective on Christy. A friend, Catherine Knowles, commented to People magazine, "She loves her daughters. I have no idea what could possibly make a mother who loves her daughters as much as she did. What could cause a person to snap? The part of Christy that I knew was a very kind, loving mother. Within 20 seconds of meeting her, we were talking about her being a mom. That was her mission in life. That was her everything. Her two daughters. On Daughter's Day in September of the year prior to the shooting, Christy posted the following message to her Facebook account. Happy Daughter's Day to my two amazing, sweet, kind, beautiful, intelligent girls, she wrote. I love and treasure you both more than you could ever possibly know. 3 years before the shooting, Taylor posted the following message to her Facebook account, honoring her mother on Mother's Day. Mom, you are so selfless, as you always put our whole family before yourself and never ask for anything in return, the post read. You're so kind and loving, as you always remind us just how much you care and how proud you are of everything we do. You're so intelligent and fun to be around because I feel like I can talk to you forever now about anything. The post concluded, you're one of the strongest people I know, if not the strongest. And you have had to overcome so much in your life, but you still managed to love us and put everything into being a mom. You're so encouraging, as you always push us to do our absolute best, even when we can't muster up the strength to do it ourselves. You're such a blessing to have as a mother and friend, and I truly appreciate you and all that you do. Happy Mother's Day to my amazing mom, and I love you. 2 years before the shooting, Christy posted on her Facebook page, I am truly a Southern gal. I was born in Alabama, have been living here in Texas for 15 years. I have two amazing daughters I simply adore. They are my everything. Thank God for every breath he allows me to take. Something's wrong here. When a reporter for the Houston Chronicle interviewed one of Christie's neighbors, Austin Enke, he stated, they were always cheerful and never depressed. You never heard anything bad about them. While another neighbor told a local news station, the mother was nice. You wouldn't expect it if they told you this is what was going to happen. I don't think anybody, at least a sane person, would do that. In one Facebook post, Christie referred to herself as being Baptist, as well as a conservative and strong supporter of the Second Amendment, which provides the right for gun ownership. In one Facebook post, she wrote, it would be horribly tragic if my ability to protect myself or my family were to be taken away. But that's exactly what Democrats are determined to do by banning semi-automatic handguns. Okay, so here's the thing I wanted to say and point out. That if a Democrat was to say that during an election year, there was, shootings pertaining to gun control and stuff, they call it a conspiracy theory. But perhaps when the media wants to allow somebody who possibly isn't guilty to be guilty, they bring up that she was against gun control. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not a conspiracy theory. Like, I mean, it's crazy how everything the majority of the evidence that they pulled up about this woman doesn't jive with one post on Facebook. I mean, but that makes her crazy for this purpose and for her being guilty of this. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. There's more to this. Um, on the day of the killing, Christy and Jason had gotten into an argument over Taylor, who had a fiance, Juan Sebastian Lugo. Taylor and Lugo started seeing each other in 2011, and he had given her a promise ring in 2013. Christy wanted to ground Taylor and prohibit her from seeing Lugo. Jason argued that he was agreeable to grounding Taylor, but they could not forbid her from seeing Lugo. Others knew Jason to be a doting father to his daughters. The reason for Taylor's punishment was not known, but later that morning, Jason told Christy, "This would be the last birthday that you are going to ruin." So whose birthday was it? After the shooting, Madison Davy, a friend of the Sheets family, spoke to a local news reporter and related a conversation that he'd had with Jason on the morning of the shooting. According to Davy, Jason said he had told Christy on the day of the shooting, "Just shoot yourself. Make it easy on all of us. Just shoot yourself." Excuse me. Okay. But the girl that right here in Massachusetts that supposedly made that kid shoot himself goes to jail. But this man who said this to a woman he'd been married to and probably had way more influence on somebody, and it did happen that way. It did end up shoot. I mean, that does. I mean, and he's the only one not injured, and he's not in jail. Really? He said Christy replied. So he said Christy replied back to him, "No, that's not what this is about. This is about punishing you." Davy then told the reporter, "I always knew something would happen, but I never thought she would do this. Christy was toxic for the family. She was mentally unstable. Jason would do anything to protect them, and he tried to, but Christy was out to kill that day. Police believe that Christy shot their daughters because that would cause the greatest pain for Jason," adding that Christy could have easily just killed Jason if she wanted. Knowing how much Jason loved the girls, killing them and letting him live would create the greatest suffering for him. Yeah, but it would have created the greatest suffering for her too. But why? What was he doing that drove her to that, I wonder? If he said that to her, then he was cruel. He was cruel. So he was already making her suffer. And they're just so quick to fucking make it like she was, yeah, okay. I'm gonna definitely look more up into that because he was fucking doing something. More to it than that, in my opinion. Luca Magnotta. Luca Magnotta, whose birth name was Eric Clinton Kirk Newman, was born July 24th, 1982. Yes, he sure did, Night Owl. In Scarborough, Canada. Newman's troubled past, including a track record of attention seeking, would culminate him in becoming the subject of the largest manhunt in the history of Montreal, which would eventually extend internationally. a track record of attention seeking. Why was he, what happened? You know, I mean, why did he feel like he didn't have attention? Anna York and Donald Newman, Luca's parents, separated when he was very young. Luca, I wish I had a co-host, because if I had a co-host, I'd have them looking all the shit up that I'm questioning, you know, somebody with like a second device that would look stuff up while we're reading through this so we could get answers to our questions. That would be so awesome. If anybody wants to volunteer for that, that has a second device and will look stuff up as we get questions, I would just so love that. I mean, Coward, you don't even have to come on camera, um, or anybody, any of you guys, uh, please, if you have a second device and could look stuff up with me, like, because I'm already using my two devices right now. I actually do have a third, but that'll make everything go slow. I know, right? And out of all of them, he lived, though, the guy did. It says his parent separated when he was very young. Luca was the oldest of three children. He and his two younger sisters were sent to live with their grandparents. Why? Why couldn't the parents take care of them? See, that's something I'd like wonder. I mean, why did the parents get separated and then get sent to live with their um Newman's high school, which is Luca Magnotta I'm talking about. Luca Magnotta's high school teachers and classmates remembered him as self-obsessed about his looks. I mean, seriously, is that all they remember him for? You know, um, Newman dropped out of high school and began working as a stripper at a Toronto nightclub at the age of 19. Well, first of all, if he dropped out of high school, he certainly wasn't 19 when that happened. He worked as an escort and appeared in pornographic videos, gay and straight. I'm sure there's more of this. He perpetrated his first crime in his early 20s. He won the trust of a woman with a mental handicap and persuaded her to apply for credit cards. Newman committed fraud by making charges on the card that totaled $10,000. He was also suspected of sexually assaulting the woman. The sexual assault, no, okay, so hold on. So they blame people for having mental instability after the fact, after they're dead, but after the people have known that there was a problem, because it says the sexual assault charges were dropped due to medical reports that indicated Newman had a significant psychiatric issue. So let me get it straight. So the credit card charges weren't dropped. So the credit card companies got justice, maybe, who knows. But the girl who was mentally handicapped didn't get any justice because the other guy was mentally handicapped. That's crazy. Instead, Newman was found guilty on 4 counts of fraud and received probation and community service. So that girl never got any justice. But that's insane. I know, Catherine, I thought of that you only have your phone. Looking back at the decision to drop the charges, Newman's defense attorney stated that this had changed the course of Newman's life and the impact was immeasurable with huge ramifications for our society eventually. Yep, exactly. Exactly. His lawyer must have some kind of guilt for him to say that. Instead of thinking, wow, what a win for my client, for his, for Luca Magnata's attorney during that trial to admit that he did what most people would want, was to get the courts to drop the charges. He's sitting there thinking, damn, that's my fault that this person died. That's in, that's so like, wow, right there. That's the point. People have got to have repercussions. Just set the precedence and you could stop the huge ramifications that will come eventually for, no repercussions. These people are saying, go on, what do they say? Go unalive yourself. That's what, this Lycan Legion said to somebody. And Tiffany and another time was laughing and giggling over Malibu saying she was going to take her own life. And then they'll go on about, yes, that's what, right. They're suicide trolling, them, they'll say, Tiffany will say, it's suicide trolling then, but it's a giggling matter when it's go unalive yourself. This attorney, defense attorney, that probably was court appointed, who knows, working his way in, probably didn't even like defending half the people that he defended. Years later, has to, as a talking point on paper, winning a case would be great for an attorney starting off, but inside, can you live with yourself? At least this guy saying, even if he went on, this attorney went on to, do different things. Um, I wonder, I wonder if there's cases since Luca Magnotta that he has just deemed indefensible to his own conscience. Not indefensible to law, but to his own conscience. I wonder if it changed him as an attorney and a person. Bathroom break, talk amongst yourselves. Sorry, guys. I was hungry. Exactly. Exactly, I know. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'll just finish the story and then I got heartburn when I eat hamburger, like meat. Ugh, sucks. Or I could finish it later. No time because I have heartburn. Plus, I don't like to eat online. It's about Luca Magnotta. Let's just remember next time. Um, peace, love, and tacos, you guys. Thank you. Well, I'll finish the story. Newman then began dating, which is Luca Magnotta, began dating a transgender woman who would later tell investigators that Luca Magnotta wanted to be famous and would beg her to take pictures of him. She described his apartment as looking like a shrine dedicated to himself. Their relationship lasted several months before they broke up. Shortly afterwards, he changed his name to Luca Rocco Magnotta. I'll finish it next time. Peace, love, and tacos.